Hello and welcome to my channel. This is Coldfire and I'm doing a live tarot slash channeled message for the twin flame journey, and just with the hopes of bringing more clarity about where we are on the journey right now. So it's an update. It could be different for everyone. Please take what resonates and leave what does not. Hit the like button, subscribe, and also hit the notification bell so that I can catch your energies and details specific to your situations. Everybody's uh, everybody's situation is different, but the the overall or the general lessons that we are learning on learning or teaching as a collective, as the divine collective, star seeds, twin flame, 144,000, whatever you resonate with, divine counterparts, soulmates, or anything else that resonates with you are similar, or this is what the divine or supreme source universe is calling us to act upon. So this is what we will be touching on today. This is what we will be reading from tarot. I do not like to prepare what I have to say, so please excuse me if I'm fumbling or saying a little more than usual. I like this to be intuitive. I like this to be very organic and natural. So, and also I have to use the vocabulary, grammar, and sentence construction according to uh, the creative subconscious. So I creating it for your subconscious. I'm saying things. I create content basically for your subconscious, so it goes deep within your subconscious. That is the intention, and that is the nature of my channelings as Code Fire. So let's see. Let's get the title of what we are faced with right now on our twin flame journey. The World card. Yes, twin flame connections are showing up in the world. Like the title suggests, we are up on trial publicly. Like everybody's trying to see. Everybody just thought that this was just another way of another style of romance. That is what I've been getting. This isn't another style of romance. This is actual, true, unconditional love, and uh, it also talks about quantum entanglement. This card always basically uh, shows me the quantum state of things. So every at the core frequency, the actual frequency of two souls is equally matched. And how does that translate out into the material world? What are the basic rules of functioning of this connection? When we actually see each other in the physical world and we identify this is who we are quantum buddies with, basically this is our twin soul on the quantum level. How does it show up in the world for other people? It breaks all the stereotypes. It breaks all the system and order and brings about another harmonious order which is suitable to these kind of connections. And this connection is purely unconditional love. Love is just the frequency at which we are communicating, and it's a language of perfect alignment. It's the most purest form and strongest form of communication, frequency that allows perfect communication. Okay, so they're also ready to take some action. Like your person seems to be ready right now, at least mentally. They know how to handle this. They have had some time to process. Even if they don't understand this, they know how to deal with this. They're ready to deal with this. They also know that there's some practical experience needed in completing their understanding regarding this connection. So that has been coming up since the last 20 to 21 hours. There is definitely some kind of spying and stalking, surveillance and monitoring going on. There's a lot of information that has been coming through, or that has a lot of things that have been spoken in the past that are reaching conclusion. And it's like it's it's like the divine counterparts are feeling the burdens of some kind of conclusions. They're feeling like the entire burden of getting closure for humanity on distorted or immature projections of love is what I'm getting. Like, the entire responsibility of it's like divine counterparts and twin flames, people on the twin flame journey are basically shouldering the all of the consequences of immaturity when it comes to love. Yeah, all the false promises made under false love, right? All the false communications, all the immature communication, all the communications that are basically, it's like a pile on energy. Like, he said this, she said this, he said that, she said this. All the romantic uh, situations that were based on false love and some kind of uh, very materialistic arrangements, like the weight of the words, words, like all of the crap show that has been going on in the world with the combination of the Princess of Swords. This is projection, this is messages, this is words, actual words, right? It's like, this card came up in the previous reading as well, towards the end. It's like, I see the twin flames and divine counterparts, especially the ones that are in the divine masculine polarity right now. Please switch roles. 818, as I said, that it's not a one-sided journey. It, like I said, it's quantum entanglement. It's a loop. You're exchanging polarities possibly, but every second, and you're relaying information, or you're taking information and relaying information within both the polarities of you, as well as the other soul that you're entangled with, right? It's also, it shows that, your twin soul can give you that extra energy, or that strength in your backbone to shoulder all of these false accusations. All right, okay. In romantic relationships, there are a lot of false accusations, a very distorted view, or a very biased projection of what commitment is, what the code of honor is, what loyalty is. All of those false projections and false accusations. It's it's become a problem and a burden for the divine masculine collective to bear. Yeah, and it has got to do with this foundation of material world resources. It's like, evenly, they're not evenly distributed. They're unevenly distributed, according to the people who have a very egoistical perspective about this, a very manipulative perspective about this. That, there is only a limited amount to go about, and they know that certain people, they might not know that this is the divine collective, this is the divine masculine, right? They can sense that this person will draw in a lot of wealth and abundance, and they try and project a connection or a commitment based on this. This is what the unawakened human minds and soul, or out of alignment, the minds that are out of alignment of the divine order in which we are progressing and ascending, right? We're supposed to ascend as a collective. They are very focused on um, manipulating and fighting for limited resources. They come from a lack mentality, but but the resources that can be available to us in the physical plane are limitless. And this is what the divine collective needs to show. But that's why there needs to be a very, very practical display of this connection. And it is a connection, it's a two-way street. It has to be with another person. If it has to be displayed to the entire world, the entire planetary consciousness, to all of the human minds that are here right now, right? If it has to be displayed, it will have to be displayed as a couple. Like, no one should try to do this alone. Like, this is what the divine counterparts also need to understand, that the practical world commitment needs to be displayed. Four of Wands. Yeah, even if it means that you might have to go against your views of marriage or stabilities or living in with each other before marriage, whatever it might be, having children out of wedlock, whatever it might be. It one one event of commitment has to be taken up to come to the same level as how the other unawakened minds and souls are thinking. That's the only way, like, you can communicate with them. Otherwise it's going to be like, it's going to be a continuation of this cycle: false accusation, false expectations, um, false starts, false communication, and then you take all of that information of that uh, commitment, and you're shouldering it. New beginning, Ace of Cups. This could also mean a new person for some people, but this person, with your true person, your divine counterpart, might be showing up just now in your physical world reality. You have possibly lost hope, or you've been under this big heap of burdens that you've been carrying, the commitments that you've made to people, or who they've got you stuck in commitments. Your 10 of Wands is burdens, and if you wanted to commit to something open-heartedly, it would never feel like a burden. So this is definitely things people have got you stuck in, right? And that's why I said, like, this, now the divine counterparts will have to show up in the physical world together. Then there will have to be an announcement of this. Like, they will have to be a display. It will have to be known. So even if you have met your divine counterpart and you are, this relationship is leveling up, or it's going to be like a clean slate. That is what I'm getting. It's going to be a clean slate. So you are going to be unrecognizable to this person if they think about you, the past experiences that you have shared, because there's that completion and ending are slightly different. Like, a phase ends, and the energy related to that chapter is also closing. So when it comes to the connection between the divine counterparts, like, this is something that we have been uh, facing all our lives. That chapter might not be Oh, that chapter also might have come to a close now because we have the 10. 10 is an ending, a number for endings, right? So possibly without these burdens, or possibly knowing how to tackle these people, these pylons, your relationship, your that the next time you'll come together or start interacting in, we have the sun. Okay, the next time when your physical 3D world communications are back up, when you are actually talking to each other face to face, and even telepathic communications right now might be all about this proposal that you want to make with each other. And before this, y'all might have just presumed that a proposal or these gestures, romantic gestures, were not important, or these 3D world commitment gestures and displays were not important. But now y'all are showing up, both of y'all are showing up like um, for this Four of Wands and this Ace of Cups, for this stability that both of you all have individually worked towards. This one side is yours, the other side is them, and this is the foundation, the throne for, or the cabinet where this holy grail of your undying love for each other, the chapter where you'll be able to display it, like, you put it on the mantle, you put it on display here for people to observe the energetic data and learn from it. And also, this is where you go to restore your energies. They might be like an altar that you're building, and um, a place, a physical place, a very publicly visible place, physical space, right? Is being dedicated to every twin flame couple, because they need to possibly stand and speak one, while one is in contemplation and meditative state in the same space. The other one is displaying how that energy channeled by one divine counterpart gives rise to the movement in the other divine counterpart. For them, they will have divine counterparts who are very comfortable in being physically apart and just meeting each other sporadically, and very infrequently. Now will have to now they will soon now the divine counterparts and twin flames will want to spend more time, or will be pulled together to spend time in the same space, uh, less than 6 feet apart of each other. That is what I'm getting. So y'all now we'll have to be very comfortable in being in close proximity with each other. And I think that will come more naturally than being physically separate from each other. And that will be the final display, like public display, like, look at this, these people are constantly together, but it's not like other people who are trying to prove a point. They naturally gravitate towards each other, and they are in close movement. They're orbiting each other. The divine counterparts basically like orbit each other when they are in a physical space. They are not clinging on to each other, like, the cringe behaviors that some couples display publicly when it comes to affection. How does it work with divine counterparts? Now we're going to be seeing and showcasing this.
It's 3:00.
This to the world. It's coming up. So I just wanted to write even in the description box, like, be prepared. I wanted to end it with that, but um, yeah, I just thought maybe if I get a chance to say it in the video, then type it that would be better. So yeah, be prepared for Four of Wands again. Like be prepared to show some 3D, not show the ultimate, not show some, show the ultimate display of how this connection is in practical terms, in material terms, in 3D. Okay, it's going to come very naturally. It's going to come very, very, very naturally to both the counterparts. But yeah. Remember, it is to fight this off. It's to fight this off first and foremost. Y'all don't need to be in the same physical space as each other. Y'all don't need a committed relationship. Y'all don't need any of this. All the needs were dropped a long time ago. Oh, when you had soul recognition of your twin soul, right? Awareness. You might have been just a child because the page is showing up here, and the Fool card and the Sun card. These are all three very child centric cards, right? And then we have the contrast of the Ten of Wands. So you all have never felt like you had to be in a committed relationship with your divine counterpart, but now it is time. It is time in the journey of twin flames where if they have to impart, or if they have to impart knowledge about true love and unconditional and relationships based in unconditional love, right? Twin flames, divine counterparts, 144,000 star seeds, all are here to teach. The divine collective is here to teach humanity and the planetary consciousness about this, how souls relate in the 5D. It is pure and it is unconditional. And now it needs to come out in the materialistic sense as well, right? So we have the Chariot and the King of Swords. I really don't know. And we have the Hierophant at the bottom of the deck. Okay. We have the King of Pentacles. We have the High Priestess. One more card. Yeah, we have the Eight of Swords here. All right. There is a sort of mixed feelings about being involved with or putting yourself out on display in front of the minds that are trapped. Yeah, but the energy is too strong. Like I see the divine masculines here showing up here very strongly. We have the higher self of the divine masculine collective here as the Hierophant, and then we have their 3D world projections coming in. That energy moving really fast. This is the force that is the divine masculine, the Chariot. Like it's very powerful. This is the god Mars. It's very charged up right now. There's a lot of mental clarity. There is a lot of it's insane. And the intuition, the divine masculine's intuition, even though it might be trapped along with these people who are in that mind trap, they know they have the resources to basically take flight, to fuel their intuition and snap out of it and fight out of it as soon as I said that emperor at the bottom of the deck. So they are really very, it's like I'm getting a very very feeling of they don't have a good feeling when it comes to putting themselves up on display in front of this blind world, in a blind man's world. Yeah, because it's like they are going to end up, it's like the only the divine masculine here is no longer sugarcoating anything. They've lost patience. They want to literally send these low vibing energies and these connections who are incapable of opening their mind up to this. They want to release themselves of out of this. They it's like it's their intuition. They're putting their entire logic and material world resources to be rid of these people, or it's like time to do that. It's like there's a sense of urgency and wariness to do this. Ace of Swords, that will require a lot of communication, back and forth communication, verbal communication. They discussions as well. It's like they don't want to discuss these uh, low vibrating energies. They don't want to discuss about these closed minds. There's a little bit of avoidance. There's a little bit of like I don't want to deal with these petty minds. I don't want to communicate with minds that are out of alignment. I don't want to showcase my love, my connection, my divine connection, my connection with my divine feminine. I don't want to display my person. I don't. It's like I think they're looking for a lot of privacy, but the opposite is happening. They're showing up. They're shining. They're really showing up, and the more they want to be quiet, the energy of being outspoken, because the king of swords is very vocal, right? The intuition is basically uh, moving their vocal cords and making them speak. So this is not control. This is coming from these are like messages that the skies as well as the earth have to communicate. Like air signs is the akashic realm, the mental aspects, and these are biological earthly aspects. So it's like earth and air communication. Like there's a direct connection. I think the the divine masculine has spent a lot of time uh, accumulating the knowledge that they need from the Akashic records. We have the Hierophant and the High Priestess gathering all of this information from the Akashic records about their soul and soul's purpose, and they have studied it uh, quite in depth, and they've perfected that. The world is also the world card speaks about graduation. So this is what I've been sensing. This is what we have displayed and hence graduated in. There is a stronger understanding of physical sciences, metaphysical sciences, that is the mental aspect, psychology, and philosophy, as well as spiritual sciences. All three, right? All three. This is the mental, this is the physical, and this is the spiritual, the Hierophant and the High Priestess, right? So we've done the rounds. We've done the rounds with chariot speed, with hyper speed, but with intense dedication. And this is so obvious that I think there is an expectation that this will be done automatically, and then there this is a trial of faith as well. With the Fool card here, it's a leap of faith. And also, whenever we give an example of the truth being the truth, right, the facts being the fact, we this is of this is an example given all around the world. It's like it's as true as the fact that the sun will rise in the east and set in the west. So it's like you the truth is very evident, is very clear, very well understood, and and now the divine masculine knows how to conduct themselves under this knowing, and under after post this graduation they know exactly what to do, and they just think they feel that this is beneath them dealing with these people. And if that is such a strong energy that I'm getting, then now it's a test of their faith, and they're knowing that this, if it is so beneath their level, because we have major arcanas and court suits here, and, whereas we have minor arcanas here and very very weak energies of the eight of swords and the five of pentacles, right? So this will be dealt with the cosmos, it will be dealt with the universe, by the universe, it will be dealt by a god, their higher selves, right? The sun is also a divine masculine celestial object, right? Whereas the Hierophant is the higher self of the collective of the divine masculine, and the High Priestess is the higher self of the collective divine feminine, right? And then we have the light side and the shadow side as well. So the, I feel that we have a course to, we have done the round, we have commuted with them. We're not just traveled through and traveled across and traveled by. No, we have commuted. Commuting is what you do as a routine. You commute from your home to your workplace, and from your workplace you commute back home. You have your grocery store, you have your medical store, you have all the things that you need inside your house, and to rest and rejuvenate and restore and go back to the place that you are supposed to do your work and fulfill your duties and responsibilities, right? And then get paid, get resources to go back home to restore and rejuvenate yourself. That is called a commute. Traveling is just like, I traveled to the North Pole for 6 months. Okay, that is different. That is just like a once in a lifetime thing that you will do. But think about this as communicating and going and settling in the North Pole and studying it intensely, dedicating your entire lives to it. So this is what the divine masculine has done. They are very very dedicated to studying this. They're commuting within the dark, the shadow self as well as the light self, and they do pick, they it's equally distributed. With the king of swords here, the time is equally distributed. Oh, that is balance. It's like they are definitely, the divine masculines will pick the light side of the world. They will not pick the dark side of the world, but not for a lack of studying the dark side, because they have studied the shadow self and the dark side so intensely, and they continue to do so. They know better to pick the side of the light. Okay, let's see what we have. I didn't know this was going to come out as a divine masculine thing, a divine masculine feminine thing. But yeah, we have both the polarities within us. It's just that when we meet our divine counterpart, we switch polarities. Sometimes, if we're in the physical presence of each other, we will stay in a certain polarity for a long time. But at the quantum state, we are switching polarities continuously, simultaneously. So it's basically like you're in both the polarities at the same time, both of you. But only the divine masculine polarity will communicate with the divine feminine polarity, and the divine feminine polarity with the divine masculine polarity, right? It's very rare when both the divine masculine polarities of the divine counterpart will communicate with each other. It's very very rare, but it does happen because at the quantum level the communications are really fast. So sometimes uh, within the switch, like the divine masculines will a get to exchange information, or the divine feminines will get to exchange information. Okay, let's do the divine feminine role, and then we can do the clarifications for this. Okay, we have, oh wow, look at that. We have the Queen of Cups. Yeah, focused on the subconscious. We have the Magician card here with Merlin here as a magician. It's like something has been, it's good, it's summertime, right? So basically it is so hot, it's so hot that the earth is, there's a lot of vapor going up into the sky, a lot of information, actual ground information going in a very basic form, in the atomic form, into the akasha, into the sky, right? Even water is evaporating because the temperatures are high during the summer, and it's going up, like it's traveling up into the sky, and then that the sky is going to integrate the information the of water molecules, and it's going to convert its states from gaseous to liquid, something that we can contain, something that we can receive, right? So this is a very natural process. Also, it's a seasonal thing. Right now you're sending up information, divine feminine, from the depths of water. We have the Chariot and the Queen of Cups. Queen of Cups is cups are water signs, and the Chariot is the Cancer card. 3717 as I said that. So there, that is the alignment here. So this there seems to be some kind of fuel the divine feminine is channeling, a very natural, very organic fuel that the divine feminine is sending towards the divine masculine's vehicle of movement, right? Okay. A very meditative state. There's, I think it's transformation. Let's get more cards. We have the Queen of Pentacles here. We have Counterpart here. Queen and King of Pentacles. We have the Justice card. Wow. We have the King of Cups. We have Counterparts showing up. If we get the Queen of Swords, I'm going to jump up in my seats. Feet. Okay. The Seven of Swords, right underneath the Eight of Swords, we have the ten. That is the Wheel of Fortune. Like I said earlier, if we get another 10, that means there is an ending. There's an ending to this chapter. It's actually done. It's quite possibly done. So, yeah, like in my previous live video, I'd mentioned that there is definitely monetary separation going on. Justice card speaks about divorces and official breakups, official separations, and now there is a financial settlement also showing up here, and very strongly. Any financial settlement amongst other parties, third parties, that have to be conducted, those are getting conducted. And as the divine feminine is supplying the fuel for the divine masculine's chariot, and Mars again is a divine masculine celestial object, right? And then we have the high priestess, that is Neptune. Neptune is well, slightly feminine. And the Hierophant, even though this is related to the divine masculine's collective higher self, it's uh, it's a Taurus card, and Taurus is quite mm, it's a feminine sign, and so is Cancer. Cancer is a feminine sign. So you see the connection here showing up strongly, and how it's going to translate in the physical world is being shown through some kind of separation, some kind of separation. It's like the queen floats to the surface, and this is basically kelp, like seaweed, where she's stuck. Justice is stuck, right? She's sitting there very elegantly and gracefully, even though she's stuck, even though she has her eyes closed. Both the Queen of Pentacles and the Justice, the lady here on Justice, on the Justice card here, have their eyes closed. But the Queen of Cups has her eyes open, so she knows that the more the Divine Masculine incorporates this in his daily routine of learning, the shadow aspects of this world. Once the settlement happens, once he goes and communicates this logically to the people who need to settle the scores amongst each other, and while the entities here placed on this in this realm, the higher entities, they need to go into a larger body. So basically, the fuel that the divine feminine is sending to the divine masculine to communicate and to study and to learn, right, logically, is is of is coming from the entity of justice. It's submerged quite deep in the waters. It has ancient knowledge. And I just saw a post on Facebook I think a few hours ago. It was yesterday, where it said that these big ships were discovered on the ocean floor, which were dated almost 1,200 years in the past, and they're perfectly figured, perfectly preserved in the ocean floor. So it basically, the ocean is like a preservation chamber. It's a library. It's a museum. Even the chisel marks on the boat and the ship were preserved just as it is, right? So time did not have, like, the aging did not, it was perfectly preserved. Time did not have, it was preserved in time, basically. Time did not have a deteriorating effect on the ships. So it's very symbolic. It's coming up here, like what the divine feminine has understood and is passing on to the divine masculine to use in real life, and to use it logically, right? The logic, and base the logic about money on that, is that justice will be served and it is preserved. It's an ancient entity. It is one of the main forces of the spiritual world, the spiritual reality, right? Also, the conversations or the debates that the divine masculine is having, I think it's a little, the divine feminine is trying to channel it without actually having a conversation. The divine feminine seems to have gone in silent mode, like no communication and no contact. She doesn't want to talk. She doesn't want to speak. Where the divine masculine is showing up very much vocal here, the divine feminine is showing up in in silence, with the King of Cups here on falling here in the Divine Feminine world. She wants to she she wants to spend time in spaces where her emotions are will go unseen. Her feelings can be channelized in uh, instantaneously into emotions, and they are not put up for display, right? This is looking like the thieves or the culprits um are very inefficient. Their inefficiency or their negligence or their incapability, like, they promised more, they just boasted, they just, it was all talk. And it's it was it was channeling other intelligence, borrowed intelligence, and it was they were just trying to put their mark on, or have a say in the matter of how time progresses, how humanity progresses. They wanted to basically get credit for something that they had stolen. Basically, it was stolen in intellectual property, with the sword showing up here. Oh, this is the Seven of Wands. It's not the Seven of Swords. Okay, so that is resistance. Resistance to action, resistance of releasing themselves from this trap. So, and also damsel in distress behavior, that, they want to always keep room open for, this is the distorted masculine, and this is the distorted feminine. These four cards, I'm going to separate them a little bit. So this is what they're tackling, or having to show up in their divinity so that this distortion can be exposed. Right, let's just get some clarifications for just one card in the middle for each. We have the Two of Wands here for the Chariot and the Queen of Cups. We have the Nine of Cups for the King of Swords and the Queen of Pentacles. We have the Page of Swords for the King of Pentacles and the Justice card. And then we have the Six of Swords for the High Priestess. And yeah, the intuition has kind of surrendered, because it's like, job well done, the battle's over. So there is more permanency when it comes to the access to intuition. It's like the portal is open and permanently open, right? Between the dark universe and the light universe, and there's like a spectrum within that. The portal is like a spectrum, a color spectrum. It's like the cord that connects the divine counterparts is this. It's a portal. It's not a cord, it's actually a portal. Okay, it's a communication channel, it's a portal. That's what I'm seeing. And it's a very different way of communicating. It's very different. We are actually seeing what it is. I'm actually seeing what it is deeper. That requires surrender. That requires complete surrender. Surrender to observing, to being an observer, to not affect, put your emotional energy, to contain your emotional energy so that it doesn't disturb your surroundings and vicinity. Yeah, this is inspired action. This is inspired um, action towards fighting for your promised resources together. It's like you're saying it's time for your y'all to pay it up, because we want to utilize it. It's time for you to invest. Redirect resources to this, so that's being balanced out for the divine masculine and the divine feminine. It's taking time. I think it's taking a little bit of time because there is a lot to process, but eventually it will come together. It will come together, and we have another page here. So I'm getting the what you were distracted or deprived of in youth or in childhood. Most of the twin flame and the divine counterparts are child prodigies, and child child prodigies that might have not got the chance to. We have the Ten of Pentacles, might have not got the investment, the right encouragement in a financial or materialistic perspective to follow their passions, to follow their creativity, wherever their creativity is leading them towards, right? They might have not gotten the chance because they were the material financial world resources were not presented to them, and now all of that is coming back exponentially. Like when you were a child, maybe it seemed the requirements were possibly smaller, and now that you're an adult, it's exponential. Whatever was held back is being returned, but for that you will have to work together on a kind of creative project, and on something, on creating something, a creative project, definitely together, or commit to this journey of being a pair of child prodigies who may have been deprived of the financial support that was needed, that was supposed to be given. Okay, so yeah, that's what I have for you for this section. And we have the nine of cups that speaks about expansion. There's some kind of logical, practical reasoning being discussed when it comes to wish fulfillment. How do we fulfill our wishes? Let's think about this logically, and let's think about this practically, because the divine masculine and divine feminine seem to be moving along, moving forward together very fast. And a lot of things are going to materialize when they come together, eventually come together in close proximity, in physical proximity. Right. Let's see, let's get two cards to clarify this. We have the Death card and we have the High Priestess. Okay. There's going to be a transformation of information. transformation of information, right? So earlier there was a lot of information that was in the background, and it was blindfolded. The divine masculine felt blindfolded, or they were dealing with people who were holding on to information, but they're so rudimentary, they're so primitive, that when they when it came the chance to communicate with them or try and get some information from them, all they ever did was lie and create more confusion, hide information. And now all of that hidden information, which was hidden in the deep subconscious, is also Seven of Cups is a card for subconscious. And we have the Ace of Cups here. So it's coming out to the surface, and it's becoming more open, it's becoming more evident, right? It's being definitely processed in the subconscious. There's some kind of resistance to looking at this information, even subconsciously, but I think that that is getting transformed. So it's getting transformed from unknown to the known, right? Unknowable to the knowable. And it's kind of happening suddenly. It's just switching very, very suddenly. And it feels like at the same time, okay, I just didn't know about this, and I've processed it instantaneously, right? Because the wheel of fortune is quick changes. When you're removing these, okay, so it was like earlier the priests had all the knowledge, like, all the books from all the scriptures. They controlled the scriptures, they kept it in the churches and temples, and only they could read the language, etc., right? And suddenly those priests, let's just say, were moved out of the picture. Were moved out of the picture to go hunting for resources, right? They were go they so people must intuitively, people must have said that, if you're not going to pass on the knowledge to us, if you're not going to teach us, if you're not going to give us the ability to study the scriptures on our own, right? We are going to leave you out in the cold. We are going to abandon you to fend for yourself, right? So the time when they were some corrupt officials, we have the Hierophant showing up here as well, right? And two officers showing up here, as well as investigators showing up here in these notes. And there's somebody's money. This is old, but this could be money of the entire country, community, world's resources, financial structure, etc. All of that. And so people are being held accountable and held responsible for equal give and take, justice, that's equal balance. Even the King of Swords, that's equal, that's impartial view, unbiased view. This is balancing it out. And the justice card's falling right under the King of Pentacles, right? So corruption, people who have not performed the duties are being left out in the cold. So let's just say the priests were left to find fend for resources, and they've moved out of the temples and the churches, and they've gone out hunting for resources. That's when you intuitively access these these changes that have been brewing in the background, the information of those changes, of the progress, of the ascension of the collective consciousness and human psyche, the human mind, the collective human mind, the planetary consciousness. You get the information on the transition and the changes that are happening, and that becomes a good fortune. So something that was blocking some people, some corrupt individuals that were hoarding information, are moved out, practically, physically moved out, right? That's when you have an intuitive downloads on what they were trying to shield or reject you from knowing. Five of Pentacles is a card of rejection as well. Right. So I think we have spoken for quite a bit. Let's just get it's an hour now. let's just get the fairy oracle, Lenormand cards, not oracle card, fairy Lenormand cards. Let's get a few cards. I feel, and I'm gonna get some flashcards as well towards the end. Twin flame energies, twin flame tarot, and channeled messages are very, very tricky because there is very little practical translation here, and that part of that phase has just entered, that we are going to be able to practically translate unconditional love, like display unconditional love. That's the kind of information that's coming through. With true love and conditional love and relationships based on pure soul connections and divine counterparts was earlier possibly told to us as being completely impractical. And that priest analogy and metaphor that I gave, that, like, those people are being sent to fend for themselves. Like, okay, then show us how it is done practically. And then you just send them away. And of course, they have no resources. They've been hoarding somebody else's resources, right? And as soon as they move, their energy, their dense energy, their their thickness and their stubbornness, their them adamantly trying to prove lies about soul connections or the reality of the world, right? That energy kind of exits with them. That's when our intuition starts changing and shifting things in the material world reality. We get knowledge on how to show up in the material world as beacons of true love and unconditional love, like the Holy Grail. How do you show up as the Holy Grail in human form? How do you show up as the Four of Wands, twin flame, uh, throne, pedestal in the 3D world? How do you do that in human form? That kind of information is coming in. Fairy cards, come on. We have the lilies. That is the King of Spades. Then we have the gentleman. Here, the Ace of Hearts. Okay, and we have another gentleman here. Both the gentlemen at the bottom of the deck. So this is, let's say this is off. This gentleman is off the grid, and this gentleman's on the grid. I'm going to take this, right. So we have the sit here. We have this. This is an outhouse. This is a secret house. This is a hideout. This is something which does not get accessed by just anybody. Just select few. Even the owners of the place or the forest might not be reaching here. The caretakers are here, and it's very guarded. It's for some reason. Maybe there is some information there hidden there. Amphibian mind. The amphibian. We always talk about the reptilian mind, but some of us have a genetic history in common with amphibian life forms, very primitive life forms, and that is another communication, telepathic communication channel that is blossoming here. And this is possibly our ancestors communicating across realms, right, across realms. And this is also happening near water bodies. So you might, if you have a place of a water body or anything, it could even be a swimming pool, uh, but a natural water body near you, a river, a canal, a pond, a lake, whatever it is. If you sit there, you might hear messages, not messages from your ancestors, but the communication that is going on amongst your ancestors. They don't have to be related to you. Our ancestors are basically the people and beings, creatures were born before us. So let's just say your ancestors would be, if you're from the United States of America, your ancestors, whoever lived there, are previously in history, they are from there. Yes, please go ahead and ask the question before a while I finish this thought, and I will give you the answer. Okay, so and my ancestors are from the Indian subcontinent because I was born in India, right? So let's just say two different realms, two different geographical locations, and these ancestors have gone into two different realms, but still Earth realms, right? Connected to Earth geographically, separated. So they're communicating with each other, and in ancient times, all of it was one continent, right? Lemurian ancestry. Your ancestors are communicating with each other. So these are old ancestors. They were used to living on one large land mass surrounded by water. This also speaks about when the main land mass separated into different continents, and that's how our ancestors got separated physically. So families got separated. There have been many other kind of separations as well, like India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, right? Um, Something from that. So it's I feel the divine masculine has spent some time in the wild. This could be the urban jungle as well, like going solo, and now is ready now with a true offer, a real offer. The way the divine masculine counterpart wanted to show up, okay, they're ready. They're ready with that kind of an offer. So if this is resonating with you, as the divine masculine counterpart, know that you're ready. Now you've done the study, you've done the rough training, all of that. You know what your 3D world consists of, your day-to-day routine consists of, right? And you are on an elevated level. The journey that you are on is on the higher spectrum, right? So the divine masculine counterpart wanted to show up after they had done all the learning and training and exercises out there on their own, and also possibly connected with other species of the planet uh, that were there in their city or location, wherever they were, so that they could come up with a genuine, stable, logically and practically sane offer for you. That was what their wish was, and that is what your wish is, and you've accomplished that. The world card, you've learned how to do it. Okay, and this is there's definitely like a abandoned warehouse or an abandoned studio. Maybe this is like a tree house or a garden where people used to play, when you all would play as children. Maybe you knew the caretaker. Now she's turned into an old lady, or that there's a lady that stays in the forest or deep in the national forest park, or whatever. She communicates with birds, or that's her main company, right? And you met her as a child when you were lost in the forest or the park. There's somebody that a good soul, a very forest soul, a forest spirit, uh, but in the human body that had helped you. There could possibly be a family as well, a farmer family that live in the forest that you know of when you were a child. They are showing up here, and that place is available for you to, I don't know, experience. They want to hand it over. That's what I'm sensing. They want to hand it over as a safe house for you. It's always a safe house. That is what I'm getting. Just one more card. Yeah, tree. Okay, this I wanted to say this earlier. This could have been a tree house that you abandoned, but it is quite maintained and well preserved by these people that took care of you when you were a child and a little lost. Hey, Carlos, you didn't ask your question. So I think I'm gonna end the e-reading here. I saw 10:10 on the clock. That's confirmation again that there's karmic in endings because their entire plot and their entire basically agenda has been invalidated. There is the scope for any validation that they could have got ended long time ago when the divine masculine hadn't awakened, and not just awakened, they have done all of their study and learning, right? Okay, please like, share, and subscribe if you enjoy my content. I will come up with some more interesting reads for you. Hopefully, we can we move a little faster now that the chariot card has shown up here right now. I think in the previous reading as well, energy is gaining momentum. New beginning is here. 11:11, as I said that. Okay, definitely proposals coming through. We have the Four of Wands and the Ace of Cups. The Divine Collective are proposing. The offers coming in. It's going to be an official announcement. That is the basic thing that is a very basic thing that needs to be done. Like, you know, the relationship in the material world needs to be made official, and it needs to come out into the open. It needs to free flow. All the best, and I will see you in the next one.